All right, guys, I'm going to read to you From Seed to Plant. This is our story this week. On the side here, you can see that our target skills, text, and graphic features, and you should have already watched that video about text features because we are going to read and look at the text features in this nonfiction text. The genre of this is informational text. So that means this text is going to give us information. It's going to teach us something. So this gives facts about a topic. As we read, we're going to look for pictures and labels. Labels is one of those text features. Facts and details. And diagrams, which is another text feature, that help explain the topic. So remember, as we read this, we're going to look for those text features that help us as readers understand this text. Our author is Gail Gibbons, and our essential question for this week is, how do plants grow and change? Many of you have probably seen plants or have grown plants yourselves, and you've seen how they change over time. They change slow, but they do grow and change over time. Most plants make seeds. A seed contains the beginning of a new plant. Seeds are different shapes, sizes, and colors. All seeds grow into the same kind of plant that made them. Many plants grow flowers. Flowers are where most seeds begin. So you can see on this picture, there are labels. These labels are helping us to know the names of certain types of plants in here. So looking at this picture, I can see what corn looks like, peas, buttercups, roses, daisies, tulips, and they are all in this illustration, which is also another text feature. A flower is made up of many parts. So let's look at this diagram. This diagram is showing me an illustration with labels. And there's also little captions here too. So we can see the different parts of the flower here. So up here we have the petal, we have the stem, we have the sepal. In the flower are different parts as well. This is also labeled the inside of the flowers. So at the bottom of the pistil are tiny egg cells called ovules. So these are pointing to the ovules. This is labeling what the ovules are. This part right here is in the center of the flower is the pistil. So this is the pistil. The sticky part at the top of the pistil is the stigma. Right here it's pointing to the stigma. Stamens make a yellow powder called pollen. So right here is the pollen, the stamen, or the pollen is a part of the stamen. The parts of the flower around the pistil are the stamens. So these are the stamens. So this whole diagram is showing us an illustration of the parts of the flowers. Before a seed can begin to grow, a grain of pollen from the stamen must land on the stigma at the top of the pistil of a flower like itself. This is called pollination. Pollination happens in different ways. Often, wind blows pollen from flower to flower. Bees, other insects, and hummingbirds help pollinate too. While they visit flowers for their sweet juice called nectar, pollen rubs on their bodies. Then they carry the pollen to another flower where it comes off onto its pistil. So in this picture, you can see the pollen is spreading by the wind between the flowers. If a pollen grain from a flower lands on the pistil of the same kind of flower, it grows a long tube through the pistil into the ovule. This is the beginning of a seed. Remember, this part right here is the ovule. The seeds grow inside the flower even as the flower begins to die. As the seeds become bigger, a fruit or pod grows around them. The fruit or pod protects the seed. When the fruit or pod ripens, it breaks open. The seeds are ready to become new plants. Some seeds fall to the ground around the base of the plant where they will grow. Some pods or fruits open and the seeds pop out. Sometimes when birds eat berries, they drop the seeds. Other seeds fall into streams, ponds, rivers, or the ocean. There, they travel on the water until they stick to dirt along a shore. The wind scatters seeds. Some seeds have fluff on them that lets them float to the ground like tiny parachutes. Others have wings that spin as they fall. Animals help scatter seeds too. They hide acorns and nuts in the ground. Some seeds have hooks that stick to the fur of animals or people's clothes. Later, they drop off onto the ground. So you guys have probably seen these before. These are burrs and they stick to you like crazy. I wonder what would happen if seeds weren't scattered by these animals though. If the seeds weren't scattered by the animals, the seeds wouldn't be able to reach a good place to grow and they might die. A flower bed or vegetable garden is beautiful. Seeds are planted to grow in the gardens. The seeds come in small envelopes or boxes. Directions explain how to plant the seeds and care for the plants. Many of you have probably done this before where you plant different things and then you stick these things in the ground that tell you how to take care of the plants. The beginning of a plant is curled up inside each seed. Food is stored inside the seed too. The seed has a seed coat on the outside to protect it. So here's another diagram. So this whole thing right here is a seed or a bean. It's telling you it's a bean. Inside it is, food. Here is the beginning of the plant that's inside the seed. And this outer layer is the seed coat, which helps protect it. A seed will not sprout until certain things happen. First, it must be on or in the soil. Then it needs rain to soak the seed and soften its seed coat. So that's why it rains so much in the spring. Is when these seeds need to grow, the rain comes down to help soften this outer seed coat. When the sun shines and warms the ground, the seed coat breaks open and the seed begins to grow. This is called germination. A root grows down into the soil. the root takes in water and minerals from the soil for food. So this diagram right here is showing you the germination. The roots are growing down into the soil to get food. Up grows a shoot. Green leaves grow up from the shoot toward the sun. The plant grows bigger and bigger. The leaves make food for the plant from the water and minerals in the soil, the sunlight, in the air, all around the plant. So in this diagram, it's showing you the shoot. The shoot is what comes out of the ground first. And you guys know what leaves are, but it's showing you what the leaves look like on top of the shoot. Finally, the plant is full grown. Buds on the plant open into flowers where the new seeds will grow. So right here, it's labeling where the bud is and what it looks like, and then it'll open up into a flower like one of these. Many of the foods people eat are seeds, fruits, and pods. They are full of nutrition, vitamins, and minerals, and they are tasty too. So this is the last part of our text. This is a project that you guys can actually do at home if you want to keep you busy through this quarantine. So this is a From Seed to Plant project. How to raise bean plants. This is our title of the pictures. So first, find a clean glass jar. Take a piece of black construction paper and roll it up. That's important. Second thing you do is slide the paper into the jar. Fill the jar with water. Number 3, wedge the bean seeds between the black paper and the glass. Put the jar in a warm place. So what it's saying is the beans need to be in between that black construction paper and the glass. It shouldn't be inside the black paper, but it needs to be between the black paper and the glass. 4, in a few days, the seeds will begin to sprout. Watch the roots grow down. The shoots will grow up. Watching your bean seeds while they sprout. Put dirt into the big clay pot. 6, carefully remove the small plants from the glass jar. Place them in the soil, covering them up to the base of their shoots. And 7, last step, water them and watch them grow. Now let's look at this question down here, cause and effect. That's what we did last week. What causes the beans to sprout in the glass container? So if we think back to the story, it said seeds need to soak in the water. So what's helping it is the water and the warmth is causing the beans to sprout. And that is it for our story this week. This is a fun project to do at home. So if you guys do this, let me know.